Paul, clearly a successful site in terms of what you've done with it, all units sold. So turning the clock back 2 years ago or so, how is it that this particular site, you were able to acquire this site in what is a fairly competitive market for sites in good locations?
Yeah, no, good question. I mean, well, it's a massively competitive market, obviously, particularly in London and particularly on the west side of London,
yes.
where it's good values and a lot of people want to be. So, as I mentioned, so I spotted this. I approached the owners direct. That's exactly what I do. That's how I want to teach other people to do.
Yep.
It's what I've always done, in fact. But of course, even when you get a foot in the door on an off-market deal, very often the owners will. Effectively, that they'll talk to their mates, or they'll want a second opinion, or they'll get an agent involved. So very often, it's difficult to keep something 100% off market, as was the case here. The owners went and spoke to another couple of developers, and then we effectively ended up in a little mini tendering bidding situation.
Right.
Yeah. Up against some of the other big boys as well. So I don't know if you know Michael Shanley, a developer around here that good and do a lot. So we were up against those. We were up against a couple of other big ones. And but the way you or we at least, even in those competitive situations, beat those guys is by being really good at planning and scheme design, by knowing it inside out.
Yep.
By assessing the market inside out, and then effectively knowing how to come up with a scheme that generates the best value for the site, whilst importantly still giving us the profit margin that we want.
Indeed, yes. As you say, it is a very competitive market, and obviously people are overpaying or potentially overpaying relative to the forward risk.
Absolutely, and as I say, so that's why my way of doing things has always been finding things off market, because generally buying things on market, bidding for things, by definition the way you buy them is by paying more than the next bloke.
Yep.
Paying top dollar for things is not a very good business model.
No, and we're seeing a lot of this at property auctions at the moment, particularly in London, where people are, whether it be for development or refurbishment projects, people are getting into sort of auction fever and overpaying.
Yeah, absolutely. So I mean, auctions, just for example, they have never really been my thing, for the very reason that there's massive competition there. You can get deals at auction. It's not the way it used to be years and years ago. I'd personally, I sell stuff in auction. I don't really buy stuff in auction.